Ready?
Yep.
I call to order the Monday, August 12th, 2024, special board meeting. Roll call, please.
Lizinski,
Here?
here not,
Here.
Fanukin,
Here.
Kraft,
Here.
Lamb.
Here.
We stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. I will now read our mission statement, which is we educate for excellence, empowering all students to achieve their educational goals, to direct their lives, and to contribute to society. And our vision statement, the Westlake City School District will provide a dynamic, student-centered learning environment. Our district will be characterized by high achievement, actively engaged learners, mutual respect, shared knowledge, pursuit of new skills and capabilities, collaborative learning, a willingness to take action, a team commitment to data-driven continuous improvement through our strategic planning process and tangible results. And I welcome all of you here, this exciting board meeting. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Kraft,
Yes.
Fanukin,
Yes.
Lamb,
Yes.
Lizinski,
Yes.
here not,
Yes.
motion carries.
At this time, we have our first hearing of the public. If there's anybody coming forth, nope. Okay, we will move on to superintendent's recommendations. Dr. Goggins.
Thank you. And I know that Ms. Lizinski mentioned it was an exciting board meeting. It is in some ways, but really the only topics that I have is employing people, and we are excited about doing that. This was typically this date each month is usually set aside for a work session. We did make this a special meeting because our next board meeting is actually the day of our convocation. So our convocation is in the morning and our board meeting is at night. And we wanted to get the last of our hiring cycle approved before we have to come into convocation. And so we just thought it would be better to turn this into a special meeting to make sure all of you know that you are employed and should be there on convocation day. So that's really the reason that we're doing it this way tonight. I do have one administrative position, and it is Quentin Banks, who is here. Quentin, we're gonna have, since we only have three of you, would you mind coming up to the podium? I won't really press you too hard. I did give the other two a warning that I might do this, and I did not do that to you. But just to introduce Quentin, Quentin is coming to us from RTA, and he is coming in to be our new transportation director. What we really liked about Quentin during the interview process is he has the experience as, I think in RTA, it's called an operator, not a driver, right? But our district, a driver. So he has the experience of driving a bus. So for our drivers out there, he has that frontline experience, understanding what it's like to be out on the road transporting people. He was promoted to dispatcher. So he's done the dispatcher position. So with our, we have a dispatcher here as well. He knows that role. He knows what's supposed to be going on there. And currently he's worked as a quality coordinator. Is that the title of it?
Yes.
Quality supervisor?
Certified coordinator.
Certified, okay. And he's been doing that, and that puts him with a good amount of routing, customer service, those kind of things as well. And so we were really excited about the well-roundedness of his experience, and we're excited to bring him on board. So if you guys have any questions for Quentin or anything, you can ask. We're not going to make it. Yes.
Just congratulations and welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
We're glad to have you.
Glad to be here.
All right. Thanks, Quinn.
Thank you.
So we have two teachers coming in. First, Michaela Eckert. Michaela is actually she went to the Avon schools and did a long-term sub position there last year.
Did a couple different sub positions.
Couple different. Did you
Yeah.
do long-term?
I did a long term for an aide, 2 different years, and then I was building substitute last year as well. So got to sub all over the building. It was really fun.
So Michaela's coming in to our Title I position at Dover Intermediate School. And one of the things that so when we look at, we just met Quentin, well, Quentin's replacing Adam House, who's replacing Dave Kosovar, so we kind of have those type of movements. We have Kathy Dubois, who's moving into a media specialist role. And then Samantha LaHood, who was the title teacher last year, is taking over Kathy's ELA position, and Michaela's coming in and taking over Samantha. So we kind of have that chain happening throughout. So that's what Michaela is. Any questions or anything you would have for Michaela? Anything you want to add that I missed?
I don't think so. Just I'm excited and looking forward to the year. So
Good.
thank you.
As
You're
always,
welcome.
congratulations.
And you know what? But actually, I am going to pick on you.
No, go for it. Go for it.
Yeah. So I think one of the fun things in talking to Michaela is her lineage in education. Do you want to share that?
Sure. Yeah. So I'm a 4th generation teacher. My great grandmother was a teacher in a 1-room schoolhouse here in Ohio. And then my grandma taught, and my mom still teaches, and now I teach.
Awesome.
So definitely come from a long line, and I've gotten to learn a lot from just the people in my life who have taught. So
Love it.
very excited to continue the tradition.
Super.
That's great.
All right. Thanks, Michaela.
Thank you.
And Jamie. Now, Jamie, we just met last week, I think. And so we had another one of those. I mentioned we have those movements. Well, Damian Headings moved from the elementary school to become a math teacher at DIS, but then he got the assistant principal's job. So Angie Gerhan moved from 4th grade math to Damian's vacated math position in Dover Intermediate. And then then we were looking for someone like Jamie to come in, and we were really fortunate. Jamie has I think 3 years experience, and she's been actually teaching in Colorado, but she is an Ohio native from the Brecksville Broadview Heights area, and ran track, but you were a high jumper at University of Dayton. So anything you want to add?
That about covers it.
That's it.
Personal interest, where were you in Colorado?
Denver.
Nice.
Yeah.
My youngest son has been out there for 2 years, and he says he's there forever. He likes it there.
What's your PR for high jump?
5'7".
Wow, awesome.
Taller than me.
I don't think I can do it anymore.
Holy cow.
Anything else for Jamie? All right, thank you, Jamie. Welcome. So those are the candidates who are here today. We have some others who could not be here. Tess Gallagher is coming in as an intervention specialist at Lee Bernison Middle School, 7th grade, taking Jen Williams' position, who moved into social studies. Like I said, there's a lot of these breadcrumbs that are happening for these positions. She was with Keystone Schools last year. You're getting someone good when you end up calling the school and they're like, you're taking my best intervention specialist. So those are the words you want to hear. So we're excited to bring Tess in. And what was funny is, I'll tell you a funny story with her, is that in talking to her, she was out of town when I spoke to her. She was there. Their family has some sort of connection to Smoothie King. I don't know if that's I don't know if is that ice cream, or I don't know what it is.
It's like a Rolex.
It's like a Rolex. Okay. Well, when my conversation with her happened when she was, I think in Alabama, outside of a roller rink, by an Air Force base. And so it was a very interesting to where you're trying to talk to her and she's like, I'm so sorry, but another airplane's coming by. And so it was that. So that was fun with that. And then there's Evie Segas, did I say that correctly? I always mess it up with the T. And Evie, she was a title tutor at Rocky River. Rocky River graduated as well. And she is coming in to our ELL position, actually at the elementary school, but the vacancy was in the middle school, and then there was a switch. Somebody wanted to move. So that's who we really have teaching wise for today, and that would be my entirety of my report unless you have any other questions. And I'm fine. Are you guys?
What
good
about
with-
C,
That's
the athletic?
yeah, that's seventh grade volleyball coach.
Okay,
And so I don't know if you want to go separately because there's only three, all of them together, however you like it, I'm fine.
this is a short meeting today. Let's take them, I like to take them separately when
Let's
we're
do it.
doing a hiring. Okay,
Hmm.
is there a motion to approve superintendent's recommendation 2A to approve employment of an administrative staff member?
So moved.
Second,
Any questions, further questions or discussion?
welcome.
Roll call, please.
Kraft,
Yes.
Fanukin,
Yes.
Lamb,
Yes.
Lizinski,
Yes.
here not,
Yes.
motion carries.
Okay, is there a motion to approve superintendent's recommendation 2B, which is to approve employment of licensed staff members?
So moved.
Second,
Any further questions or discussion? I just want to say, subbing is probably one of the hardest jobs. It's how I started back subbing, because you're almost invisible. Sometimes people ignore you. You go in cold, not knowing. So it's a rough job and people don't realize it. So where were we? Okay, any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Here not,
Yes.
Fanukin,
yes.
Kraft.
Yes.
Lamb,
Yes.
Lizinski,
Yes.
motion carries.
Okay, is there a motion to approve superintendent's recommendation 2C to approve an athletic supplemental contract?
So moved.
Is there a second? I'll second it. Any further questions or discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Fanukin,
Yes.
Lizinski,
Yes.
Kraft,
Yes.
Lamb,
Yes.
here not,
Yes.
motion carries.
Okay, and that brings us to board items, which I really don't have any. Anybody else have? I just have one. Well, I'll ask it under board comment. Okay, so we are at board committee reports now, and being that school hasn't started, I'm not sure we have any, but our legislative liaison.
Have anything?
and,
Yeah, because
Student achievement liaison, nothing yet. Policy committee,
The only thing I'll say is we even had a legal update in our administrative retreat last week, and conversations about Title IX, because the federal government had released new Title IX regulations. Ohio is in a legal dispute and it is blocked in I think Ohio, Kentucky, and some other states as well. But it is not in place in Ohio, and advice from Neola is to not pass any new updated policies until it's resolved in the courts. So that's where we're
could be
waiting.
a while, okay.
It could be a while. Could be a while.
Okay, so we shouldn't hopefully have any issues,
No, I mean, we just operate off old policy. And so it's the policy's updated and it's in place. It's just the new policies are not enacted in Ohio yet. So we can't pass new policies because it's not in place.
well, I was just reading an article today about, I don't remember which state it was, Indiana, maybe, there's a state made a law that they prohibit cell phones in all the schools. I think the kids can still take them, but they can't, but they have to put them in a pouch or basket or something. They aren't allowed to take them into their classrooms. Ohio hasn't
They haven't done that. They've come out and it may come. Yeah, so one of the things, I went to a small summit last year where the lieutenant governor was there. And then there was another senator who is not from this area, so I did not recognize. But the conversation was that the state was putting out guidelines and saying, here are some ideas for you to do, but they weren't forcing schools to do it. But I'm starting to hear some rumblings that they may come back and we may end up seeing some legislation geared around that. That was more of a rumor. I don't have substantial with that, but with other states doing it, you may see that. And in our legal update, the person presenting even was kind of like, so you guys ban cell phones, right? And we're like, no, and they're like, well, why not? So I think it's something where I could feel the waves kind of going that way where there are going to be a lot more conversations about that, but as of right now, no. The state of Ohio has not done that.
As you have conversations with other districts, certain districts, I don't know if you could look at a common denominator, districts that have issues or problems compared to Westlake,
Boy,
larger, smaller.
no, I think
Urban.
no, I think all of it is, everybody has problems with it.
All right.
I don't think it carves out to the number of students you have or socioeconomic or anything like that. It's cell phones around and teenagers.
Yeah.
I tell you
Not a good
anecdotally
combination.
that I was doing some work up in Chicago in conjunction with Evanston, the city of Evanston. And they have voted for the schools to be cell phone free.
Yeah.
And they said one of the reasons was most of the time they were using it to coordinate going into the bathroom to vape. And they really have a real big problem with that.
I think one of the issues and one of the parts of our discussion was we have it set up to where it shouldn't be out, K through 8, if you have it in your bag or your locker or something like that. And one of the issues are restrooms, because that is there's a different level of monitoring in a restroom as a hallway, right? Or a classroom, because you do have that level of privacy in there. And I think so sometimes it's like, you can have a kid try and take a picture or a video or do so, and it's not out in the classroom, but they have it in their bag or they had it in their locker and they brought it in. But we also have heard like the deception too, where school districts have it where you bring in your phone and you lock it. You're supposed to put it in a bag and lock it and put it somewhere. And kids will bring in like an old cell phone from their house and, throw that in there and lock it and still have their phone. So, but nothing's impenetrable. Nothing is something in there, but it's going to be I think it's going to be a significant conversation throughout the year.
So has there been any discussion like that as it relates to the safety concern? I can see some parents,
There's gonna be
pushing
a
that
lot of pushback.
as to if there's any incident.
That is, and so that was discussed too. And, so it was, the thing was, the argument back on that was, is it safe for them to be texting their parents to come to the school? And now you have a log jam of parents while first responders are coming in, and you have all these parents coming in because kids are texting them. So I think there's that debate, and you're going to hear that. And then there was like, I like my kid to be accessible. And then it's like, well, sure, but they shouldn't be bothered in class. And back in the day, what did you do when you needed to do it? You called the office and the office told the classroom and your kid got whatever message it was. So I think it's just going to be a debate, because for every point, there's a counterpoint. You can say, I agree with this, I disagree with that. But I think it's just going to be a conversation. That's what it is.
And my perception as a board member is that there is leadership in the classroom. It's not out of control. Our teachers really are controlling that situation. Kids are able to learn. There may be some issues, but staff at this point is showing that leadership so that kids can learn, and cell phones are not an issue.
Yeah, they are always going to be an issue, but you're right, they are mitigated by staff. But I think it's also something that when we did have this conversation is if in the future, like minds change. And it's like, what, after thinking about this, we might really want to look at how much we restrict cell phones in schools. That has to be a long runway. There has to be a lot of conversations and a lot of those counterpoints to go through. Because if we just say right now, yeah, I'm gonna throw another item on, we're just gonna ban those type of things,
Right.
a big deal type of thing. So if at any point that is considered, you have to have one of the things that even the lieutenant governor and the others who were there saying, you have to have a lot of conversations about that. You have to, a lot of stakeholders, a lot of people involved. And if that's a direction you go, it has to be drawn up. But I think it is going to be, and who knows? But then again, if you get legislation saying it's banned, then all of a sudden it just is what it is. But we'll see.
Well, we want to do it right the first time so that we don't have to go back and make changes, so. Okay, it's the finance committee?
If I,
We-
oh, I'm
yeah,
sorry,
go
good, no,
No, we ended the fiscal year with a lot of finance. We talked about it a lot as we closed a fiscal year. We've opened a new fiscal year with a lot of finance, and we've heard a lot from our treasurer with regard to that. Recent tax issues as well that the treasurer's brought to our attention. But I was going to ask our treasurer, we've had a lot of finance over this summertime. Will we be scheduling a finance meeting?
that's what I wanted to say is, yes, I'll be looking to schedule, for the board members who, work with me on my committee. As we go into, the school year starting and we go into September, we have to pass permanent appropriations, so our budget for the year. And then we have to keep an eye on our 5-year forecast. I was at a meeting today, just to bring to the board's attention, for our health insurance plan. And remember, our health insurance plan is roughly an $8 million annual expense for the district. There is some cost sharing, but it's about $8 million. And right now, our rate isn't exactly set, but it's going to be somewhere between that 12 and 13% for this upcoming year. So what that ultimately means to us is about another $1 million a year it's going to cost for the health insurance.
And when would that go into effect?
October 1st.
Also, before our 1-year anniversary, to switch over?
Yes. So we switched and what Mr. Finucane's referring to is we switched from Medical Mutual to Anthem
March?
in order, April 1st, exactly mid-year in our fiscal year for the consortium, which runs on October 1st to September 30th fiscal year. And unfortunately, we continue to see rising healthcare costs and increased utilization, are our two pieces that are driving the cost aspect. Over the past few years, we saw some, extreme lulls during COVID where people just weren't using healthcare. And so for a couple of years, we had very, very low increases and as COVID then, as we bounced back to healthcare after the COVID year or so, we started pulling from our reserves. And so we had a reserve of around $30 million for the consortium. The consortium runs on about $100 million annual budget. And so we had about a $30 million reserve. We're now down to right around $8 million. And we project finishing the fiscal year with right around that $8.5 million. The 12 to 13% increase should help build the reserves a little bit. It won't fix our problem, but our goal with this increase would be hitting somewhere in the $12-13 million ending fiscal year budget next year, or balance next year. So it's a big increase, and we're going to continue to see some large increases. We are part of a consortium, so it's not necessarily something that I can say, well, our staff is doing X or Y, or I'm doing something that's causing these increases. It's overall utilization is just what we're seeing, and we've seen that just in talk in the media a little bit. We've seen that some personal experiences with other people. We had that lull during COVID where a lot of things were pushed off, and we're back to normal. And unfortunately, with inflationary increases, it's causing some challenges and some big increases. Now, I generally have projected 10% increases annually, so this is a little higher than I had projected. Now, we run two plans. Our PPO plan will have a higher increase than what we call our wellness plan. That'll have a little lower increase, but overall, we will be over that 10% that I anticipated. But fortunately, with the 10% built in, it won't have a huge impact on our 5-year forecast. But I did want to bring that to your attention. And those rates will go in effect October 1st. Beyond that, again, as Mr. Kraft said, we finished the fiscal year strong. I have opened our books, again, working on that budgeting process and rolling along and ready for the school year to start.
How many districts are in the consortium?
So right now there's 17 school districts,
Okay,
a variety of size. We're not the largest, we're not the smallest. There are some smaller districts, career centers, 3 career centers, some smaller regular school districts. I think the largest in the consortium is Brunswick.
so it's all pretty localized then.
Yeah, it's Northeast Ohio. I mean, you've pretty much go as far east as Orange, as far west as Oberlin, as far south as I think Medina County Career Center.
We'll hear from you with regard to dates for upcoming meeting.
I will reach out to those board members to set a date.
Okay, thank you. Curriculum, we have nothing until we hear about our next field trip. I will definitely reach out to them. But no hurry, because I know the beginning of school is a real busy time. We want everybody to be settled.
Mr. Wilson, we were gonna set up a visit to Tri-C. Okay,
We were just waiting for them to get started on their school year. It's more busy weeks and classes.
perfect.
So we'll set that up.
Awesome.
Where will that visit be?
West Shore, Tri-C, the health.
Nice.
One out over by I-90 there.
Yes.
The staging area for all of the electrical poles and.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that's where they put it.
Huh.
I did not know that.
Huh.
It was something.
Had a lot of trucks and poles and whatnot.
I wondered whether, I was telling John that when I was driving through North Olmsted, Blossom cutting across from Porter to Dover on Blossom and Edge Park, I counted 18 of the big trucks and a couple of pickup trucks, and on one lawn, there had to be 30 guys just laying on the lawn. And I don't know if they were napping or what, but they weren't from Ohio. They were from, I don't know where they were from, but we saw trucks from where Indiana, Kentucky, all over the place. So I'm very thankful for those linemen that came in and
Yeah.
restored our electricity. Okay, community outreach.
Board had an opportunity to participate in a citywide, including Bay Village event, the Westlake Rotary Art Festival, which was a big success. And Westlake Bay Village Rotary says thank you to the district for the use of property along with Porter Public Library.
And speaking of Porter Public Library, you want to put in a good word for them during this?
Oh. Yeah, I mean,
Because you used it, you went there.
well, it's true. It was great to see that the library opened up their doors, not just as usual, but extended their hours to about 11 o'clock almost every single night, and really encourage people to come, charge up, whatever devices, read a book, just get cool. So it was very, very encouraging. But a lot of local restaurants as well had donated some food. Next to what is the pizza place?
Pizza by Robert.
Thank you.
Oh, pizza.
Yeah,
I like
they
that.
donated a number of pizzas one night as well. So, and peanut butter and jelly, I think the next day, sandwiches. So, because they were closed for a while as well, but somehow they put it together. So, yeah, a great staff up at the library.
Now I want one.
So, pizza.
Pizza, but now I want one.
Yeah,
Put this in
they're good.
tradition.
Yeah.
So when you see Mr. Mangles, Rotary or whatever, tell him that was really a great
Will
thing.
do.
I mean, community wise for the
We'll put in
library.
a happy buck for
I like that idea.
him. Yeah, happy buck.
Okay.
The one other, I have one other thing for
Sure.
community outreach is mark your calendars for Friday, October 4th for homecoming. I already have the antique fire engine reserved and we have
Nice.
candy, so we're ready
Oh,
to
we
go.
have lots of candy.
We're good to go.
October 4th,
Yes,
Are we sure we got enough candy?
we're good.
we have tons of candy.
We're good. Figure make one run and then we're done.
Okay, so that's the homecoming parade, October 4th. Well, thank you, Liz, for doing that. It's always fun to ride that antique fire truck. Okay, board comments. When did you say it? When's convocation in 2 weeks?
It is August 28th, 6th, 26th.
2 weeks from today.
Yeah, I'm in October. Hold on. I went to October when you said that. It is, yeah. August 26th.
So Monday,
Yes, it
Yes.
is.
and what time is that?
8 AM.
Okay, any other board comments? No? Okay, is there a motion to adjourn into executive session? Where we will discuss the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of an employee or official.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
To adjourn into executive session at 6:31 PM. Kraft?
Yes.
Fanukin?
Yes.
Lamb?
Yes.
Lizinski?
Yes,
Here not.
Yes.
Motion carries.
and no action will be taken either in executive session or when we return to regular. So. Oh, no,
Not adjourned.
I didn't. Oh, yes, we
You're
did.
adjourned into
We're
executive
adjourned.
session.
We're-